What's going on, everyone? This is Matsuki Clean Air, and today we're bagging another Tesla Model 3, but we are doing a dual motor, which means that it's all-wheel drive. The one that we did not long ago, which was Nick's, it was a rear-wheel drive, so a single motor. This is a dual motor, so the suspension in the front is a little bit different. Everything else in the back is exactly the same. I'm not going to really go over how to actually bag this car. We're just going to kind of speed up and show you guys how to do the trunk setup and kind of, stuff we might have missed with the original video. So stay tuned. All right. This is coming live, from the Squeaky Clean Air headquarters. We are in Canada proud, and this is Simply Constant model Tesla 3, and it is a dual motor, which means it's an all-wheel drive. And the difference between the all-wheel drive and the front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, sorry, is the fact that it has another motor in the front, so a diff. And it has a special type of a lower mount, which is a fork, very similar to also the models like the GS's and stuff like that. Once you've done a lot of suspension, you'll find a lot of similarities with these vehicles. There's only so many ways you could do suspension, right? Or for the manufacturers to manufacture suspension types. I will do a video on the different types of suspension types, just so the terms are not used loosely. Maybe another video when I get a chance, but we're kind of really busy right now, just kind of chilling, hanging out, working on our own project, and getting a couple guys ready for the summer. So this is Simply Constant Model 3. He just got a brand new set of Volk Racing, Rays Engineering Mag Blue forged wheels, and I think this is pretty sick. The offset on these puppies, I don't know. I'm not gonna divulge his offset just because it's kind of secret information. You guys can probably contact him on Insta if that's the case. But I think this thing is gonna be pretty cool. Nothing like Volk Racing wheels on Tesla, with a nice aggressive spec. So when this thing sits down, it'll sit real nice. He's going for a really clean setup, and that's what we love. A little bit of a surprise for the trunk. You guys are going to have to stay tuned to further parts of us bagging this car in order to see how we're going to do the trunk setup. The tank is wrapped. I'm going to give that away. Really, really cool. And we're kind of have a theme in my head. I kind of have a theme in my head on how I'm going to take whatever he did further in order to make this car a lot more unique, which is kind of what I love to do with our build. So stay tuned. All right. Just trekking along. The struts are already in the Tesla, fronts and the rears. Their fronts are just a little bit different because they have a lower fork to go over the diff. The dual motor cars have two differentials because they have two electric motors. So it has shafts in the front, you could say, sort of say. So the lower mounts of the shocks have a fork in them. If you guys want to actually see the video, or the picture, if you guys want to see how they look like, you can go to squeakycleanair.ca and check out the all-wheel drive Tesla application. We have full pictures of the all-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive. There's you can spot the differences. You'll know it has a lower fork for the all-wheel drive dual motor cars. So the suspension is in. The lines are ran. We're working on the front right now. What's really cool about this is going to be using a wireless switch. So the ACC signal, which is normally gotten from this side over here, is now wired to a remote switch. So the problem, well, there's not really a problem, but with the Tesla vehicles, what happens is they're always kind of live. So for you to be able to sort of trigger a simulation of a key lock or key switch ACC signal, for example, for it to be able to know that the car is on and turn on the auto rise feature, for example, for the managements. The ACC signal is always kind of on, off in here, which you get from a blue wire that's underneath here, which I showcased on the previous video. The best way to do it is to have it on a hardwired switch, but it's a little bit inconvenient on some guys. What they do is they put a switch over here because the blue wire is right there to interrupt the ACC signal. But what we did with this one is I used a receiver and I used a wireless switch. So if you turn on the switch, bada bing, bada boom, it turns on the switch from the engine bay and it connects the ACC signal, and that's how you're able to get the actual ACC signal for your remote, which is really cool because if you're chilling outside in a cafe, you can turn on your car or the power using one of these little suckers, which is a remote transmitter. Okay, and that will allow you to have access to auto rise will turn on if you have it turned on, obviously, with the management. But that will allow you to play with the app, and you're able to actually control your car while being live. You can simulate the same thing by connecting it to a constant power source on regular cars that are keyed cars, and you can control basically the. So we're going to turn it off now. You can control the input and the output current signal from a wireless switch. So this is a little bit new and innovative. We might do a vlog in regards to if there's a demand in regards to how to wire one of these guys up. But this is really cool because essentially all it is just a switch that's powered with a positive and negative battery, 12-volt source. And they have multiple channel ones as well, like 1 or 2 or 4 channel ones. And you can literally wire all your LEDs to one of these suckers, and you can turn on all your LEDs remotely if you like at a meet, if you turn on your underglows or whatever you want. The possibilities are endless. So we wire this up. So it just makes it easier and more convenient for the owner of the vehicle. And what we're doing now is we are running the lines already here. All the relays already connected. The wiring just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. We have the power source over here for the compressors. We have the grounds for the compressors, grounds for the pressure switch. And here's the main power circuit. The actual module, the switch module, is just behind there, tucked in nice and clean. And there's a power supply here, and there's a ground coming from here to power it, and then it interrupts the ACC signal. So that is done. So we're in the process of working on the front setup. What's really cool about his setup is he wrapped his tank to be the Duracell battery. So stay tuned as we work on doing this. I already did a base for the trunk setup right here. So I'm just in the process of, there you go. In the process of removing the little pesky red caps that it comes with. We're going to be adding a pressure switch in here. We're going to be adding a 90-degree angles in order to be able to run the 2 compressors, because it's a dual compressor setup, and the drain. So we're going to plumb this up and start arranging it so we can do the front setup, and pretty much this is all